Daily Broadside, day 570. Man, I know this girl who I've known for a while. She's a good friend of mine. And she told me the other day, she was like, "Did you know that I was in All the Right Moves?" And I'm like, "The Tom Cruise film?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What'd you do? Are you an actress?" She's like, "No." And she's like, "I was an extra in the football scene." I mean, the whole movie's a football scene. So I've seen parts of that movie, so I don't even know what she's talking about. But they filmed that in my hometown in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and I was an extra. They came to the high school and they gave you out like buttons and all, and to tell you which side of the stadium you'd be on. You know, if you were pulling for Tom Cruise's team or whoever else is in that movie. Although I think Slider's in that movie, the Iceman Slider, all that. I think he's in there, but or maybe that's Losing It, where they go down to Mexico, lose to Virginia. I don't know, but one of those movies, Slider's in. I didn't know Slider did any other movies, but another thing remarkable about Tom Cruise's rise. Risky Business, phenomenal movie, but that was like his third or fourth movie, and then like his seventh movie is Top Gun. Like that's crazy to just take off that fast. But anyway, she's in this movie. And I was like, "Where are you at?" She's like, "Oh, I have no idea. You can't really see me and all that, but I'm in the movie." And I'm like, "Did you get a SAG card?" She's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I don't even know you." But here's the thing I bring up about this girl because we were talking the other day, and she asked me. She said, "What'd you have for dinner?" I was like, "Oh, I had peanut butter and jelly and milk." I could drink my weight in milk. It's unfortunate that the body can only metabolize less than a gallon at one time, because I think I could drink a gallon of milk and not throw up. I just love milk. It's so good. Anyway, and she's like, "What flavor jelly did you have?" I was like, "I had peach preserves." She's like, "Ugh." And while I was saying peach preserves, I talked over her because she wasn't done with her statement. She was basically saying, "So what flavor jelly did you have? Grape or strawberry?" And as she's saying grape, I'm saying peach preserves. You know, the one with the chunks in there? That's what preserves are. It's different than jam and jelly. Completely different process. But, and she's like, "Oh, that's disgusting." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You can only eat peanut butter with grape or strawberry jelly." I'm like, "What freaking planet are you?" I'll put apricot. I'll put anything. Anything except what's the thing that Paddington Bear eats? Marmalade. I don't like all the zest in there. I mean, I'll do it if weapons put to my head, but for the most part, I'm not a marmalade fan. But pretty much any other plum and peanut butter. Like, I'll put peanut butter. And I was like, I've never thought of this before, but I think you're alone in this stance, because I don't think that there is like, what's peach jelly for then, if it can't go with the peanut butter sandwich? Are you just supposed to eat it by itself? You put it on a cracker, a little Triscuit, a little I mean, what do you do with it? It's just making no sense, you know. You know what I think oh, and one other thing. That girl just came back from Brussels, and she brought me, in fact, I've got it in here somewhere. Oh yeah. She brought me real Belgian chocolate, Gournay, whatever that means. I'm here to tell you, Hershey, Mars, y'all need to step your game up, because that stuff really is better than anything you've ever tasted chocolate-wise. God, make you want to slap your mama. But yeah, so I got that going for me. There's like one tier of that stuff gone. Ate it in the car. But I don't have any milk at home, so I need milk to enjoy this Belgian chocolate. But anyway, so she comes home from Brussels, and we were talking about airports and hotels and all. And I said, "You know what hotels need? Like and airports for that matter. Airports should have like a weapons store, you know, Kubatons, knives, tasers, all kinds of stuff, right? Pepper spray, all that stuff. Because I hate flying, because most of the time I don't check anything. I mean, unless you're going on some week-long something or other, you don't need to check a bag. You just carry on some stuff. Of course, you can't take a weapon, right? Now, there are, I fly with like one of those pins that you could easily, it's basically a weapon with a pin, but you could easily jab it into somebody's throat, no problem. But I have no problem doing that on a plane. And in fact, we'll talk about that later. But you get off the plane and now you're like naked. When you're used to carrying arms, let's say, it's odd being especially in an unfamiliar town, or a bigger town that has more crime, and not having, let's say, arms, So if you could, buy, I don't know, you're not going to be able to necessarily buy let's say an arms arm, in a airport shop, but you could at least have, like 7-inch fixed blade or something, carry it on a sheath on your belt. They could sell belts too, you can put your name on it and all that. But I digress. I just thought that'd be kind of cool. Because you imagine yourself, you're checking into the Marriott, right? And you're like, I have a reservation for Ross coming in today. And like, oh, yes, Mr. Ross, welcome, blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, I can also get a thing of bear spray and a 7-inch fixed blade. And they're like, yes, sir. Now, there'd be a little bit of a markup, and that's okay, too. But that's all right. It's the time of year that it's getting cold. It's gotten cold today. Today, it was like yesterday, 2 days ago, it was like 75, 80. It was in like the 70s or something, I think, yesterday. And then this morning I wake up, it's like 37, which is fine. I don't mind the cold at all. I was born in the dark, But, yeah, so that's okay. But here's what I don't like, right? And it's not when you go to bed and it's 80 and then you wake up, it's 40. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when there's like a 6-degree difference between the time you go to bed and the time you wake up. Yet it's like two different worlds. You go to bed and you're either not using any blankets or you're just covered up by a sheet and you feel like you're living in the Gobi Desert, laying out in the sun because your body's just hot. And then you wake up at 6:30 in the morning and you feel like you're in an igloo because you're just shivering cold and you can't get all the covers on your bed covering you fast enough. What is that all about? I mean, the thermostat don't change. Like, I've got it set at this, and it'll be that when I wake up. So what is going on between, 10 o'clock at night and 5:30 in the morning? It makes no sense whatsoever. Giddy up. Y'all have a good one.